Equanimity is an inner stillness that remains untouched by the highs and lows of life. It is a welcoming of the full spectrum by being the impartial witness of it all. It is the art of seeing without labeling as either good nor bad. It is a deep presence without preference. Relatively speaking, we may cultivate equanimity over time through practice. But in absolute truth, we are by our very nature equanimous. The I am, the witness, is inherently equanimous. It is the mind and therefore the fictional sense of self that labels good and bad. So when we are equanimous, we are sat at the vantage point of the I am. Equanimity is the central pillar in the Buddhist tradition. It's considered a sublime state of mind and a crucial element on the path to liberation. Touched by happiness and then by suffering, the sage shows no sign of being elated or depressed, the Buddha. So let's not kid ourselves. Sometimes it is easy and sometimes it is very difficult to abide in equanimity. Our soul is temporarily occupying this human body, and this vessel feels the pain and discomfort of this world, and so it has an aversion towards pain and an inclination towards pleasure. And then we also have this mind-made identity, this storytelling mind that is constantly saying, I want this, I don't want that, saying it has its own definition of what it perceives to be good and bad. But as Shakespeare said, nothing is good nor bad, only thinking makes it so. To understand equanimity, we have to consider polarities, the yin and yang that comprise this reality. In absolute truth, these polarities are actually one and the same, and they exist on either ends of one linear line. Polarities only differ in rate of vibration. Here we see that both yin and yang depend upon one another for their existence. We do not know one if we don't have the other for contrast. Therefore, both poles have equal value since they actually complement and need one another. When we stop rejecting one end of polarity, then we allow both sides to coexist simultaneously, and this is an act of unification. We are able to see the dualities objectively, and we stop reinforcing the illusion. So yes, the impartial witness, it is rooted in this higher perspective, one that transcends opposites and actually allows for the integration of them into unity. Yet, as humans, we tend to favour one end of a polarity, and this interferes with the balance. Both ends of the polarity can become destructive if the subtle equilibrium between them is disturbed. Our aim, therefore, as the equanimous witness, is to not favour one or the other because it seems better, or it feels or looks better from our perspective. Instead, we aim to favour a balance that will create harmony between both poles. To cultivate equanimity, we practice catching ourselves when we feel attraction or aversion before it hardens into grasping or negativity. Pema Chodron. With equanimity, we become conscious of when we are glorifying one side and negating the other in any given moment. So we become aware of when we are chasing and clinging onto feelings of bliss and joy, and when we are running away from our sadness and pain. So we learn to welcome everything with open arms. Not cling on to something and feed it, but welcome it, and there is a difference. We allow it, we are curious about it, we witness it, we love it. We don't try to fight it or label it, it just is in the moment. Equanimity looks like not running away from a beautiful romantic relationship because we are scared of getting hurt,
loving others without trying to fix or control them, receiving criticism without defensiveness and praise without ego inflation, witnessing the mind's stories without getting entangled in them, feeling joy deeply without fearing its loss, watching your bank balance fluctuate without panicking or attaching self-worth to it, generally remaining stable amidst chaos, and so on.
Now, the mind may say things like this is totally idealistic and practically impossible. But the thing is that there are layers to mastery with equanimity, as I have found, and so many of these layers are totally attainable right away. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can practically apply equanimity so you can really taste the freedom of it straight away. If you've watched my video titled Simplifying Spiritual Practice, then you will know that I've been practicing witnessing, presence, and surrender for many years now. And through this spiritual practice, I have really come to understand how powerful equanimity really is in the way that I respond to life. Equanimity seeps into everything that I do, and it really allows me to just flow with life rather than hanging on and resisting. So equanimity, it has reconditioned my mind now. The stories that I tell myself when things happen in my world it's different. The stories are one of equanimity rather than resistance. And then through alchemizing the thoughts and through really having this intention to be equanimous, I have gained this experiential understanding of what it is like over time to really cultivate this equanimity. And it seeps into everything. It is life changing. It really is. I am absolutely not claiming to be a master in the slightest, but I do practice what I preach. And as I say, there's layers to it.
So, one way that we may practice equanimity is when the rhythmic flow of human life plunges us into a moment, a day, a week, a month, or a year of what the mind labels as discomfort. So, what does practicing equanimity in times of unrest look like? Well, we as human beings have a tendency to believe what the mind says. So, we must alchemize the stories of the mind to be more equanimous. We see the stories of the mind that might say something like, I have to get out of this as soon as possible, make it stop, this shouldn't be happening. And then proceeding to only regurgitate our desperation and resistance to all of our friends and family and exacerbate and feed this energy of resistance. With our practice of equanimity, we transmute this energy and we tweak the stories of the mind to say something like, this is what the moment brings me and that's okay. We change our mental attitude from one of wanting to escape to being present with the feelings in the body, being present with the situation rather than bypassing it, suppressing it, or trying to get out of it.
So we alter, we tweak, we alchemize our energetic approach to life in any given moment from one of desperation and resistance to one of allowing and acceptance. And even if we cannot accept, we accept that we can't accept. And this brings such a relief when we tap into this way of being. Now, I find that it really helps as well to just come out of the human perspective and come into the soul perspective, because here we can see that though the situation may appear bad from our human perspective, there is another higher vantage point where something that appears bad has an entirely different meaning and purpose.
From our human vantage point, we could not begin to understand what importance a seemingly meaningless event may have for our soul's plan or the totality of our soul's evolution. and in the totality of creation itself. By surrendering to the mystery and by trusting that it has its place, this really helps with an inner acceptance of what is. If you wake up and remember the bigger picture in the moment of resisting and clinging, take a sacred pause, a conscious breath, and ask, can I allow this moment to be as it is just for now?
It is important to remember that while abiding in equanimity, if we are feeling an unpleasant emotion, that doesn't mean rejecting and not utilizing practices that we've gained over the years that we really resonate with to soothe our internal experience and to calm the mind, like other healing modalities that we may have gained to process emotions and things like that. All of these are so useful. They're great. It's more about like what energy are you actually bringing to your practice? Is it one of desperation and rejection and clinging to one end of the polarity? Or is it one of allowing and curiosity and surrender?
It also helps to immerse yourself in the equanimous nature of nature, even by meditating with a flower. When resting with the presence of nature that has truly mastered the art of equanimity, we can reflect its wisdom and learn from it. Mother Nature doesn't cling to the sunny days and resist the storms. She holds space for it all, and she allows it all to pass through her, the light, the dark, the blooming, the decay, without resistance.
Prior to my practicing of equanimity, experiences, actual events and emotions and thoughts, they would linger for longer periods. However, with equanimity, it's like this non resistant approach kind of enables me to become more like water. So I'm approaching situations more smoothly and things just pass by more rapidly because I'm just not clinging to something. And it's very mysterious how this works. I'm able to just move through things. Now, of course, if we get addicted to our pain and we make an identity out of our pain, which sometimes happens very unconsciously, or if we make an identity out of being this really blissful, like spiritually evolved person, again, we are disturbing the balance and favoring one side of polarity. So we need to be careful about this.
For more information on this, see my video titled Pain as Pleasure and Addiction to Suffering. Now, I actually find that it is much more difficult, in fact, to be equanimous when I am feeling positive emotions.
When we are blissed out, it's so much easier to forget because so many of us are on this path actually because we use our spiritual path as a means of learning how to make ourselves feel better in the first place. So when we're already feeling good, we forget to be conscious and we forget to remember, oh no, I can't cling to this. We chase these blissful states that we get when we're in pure awareness and we tap into that deep presence in meditation or watching a sunset. We really want to try and get back to that. So I actually think it's far easier to be equanimous with and impartial with the things that are uncomfortable. And it's just, it's more difficult to be equanimous with the things that feel good and to just remember. So that's a good thing to be aware of. And obviously, also, we really want to be aware of this kind of tendency in spiritual communities and traditions to really favor things like stillness and peace and bliss and light and things like that, because it's not all about that. Essentially, it's not all about chasing these amazing states all the time. It's more just about being equanimous with whatever is there and being present with whatever whatever is there.
If we chase only the light and constantly run away from the darkness, we ignore our shadow and we bypass our healing and deny the existence of the darkness within. With an absolute favouring of peace in any moment, we run the risk of creating a spiritual identity as the peaceful one or the witness, never allowing ourselves to be okay with not being okay. If we chase states of bliss in meditation, then we are forever losing the moment, trying to get back to bliss. If we fall deeply into stillness, we become stagnant and lose the flow of forward movement. If we favour non-duality and outright deny the existence of duality, we cannot practically function in this world, and we run the risk of becoming cold, losing our humanity, so to speak, and existing in a state of denial. Remember, with equanimity, we are the witness, and therefore we see it all. We don't avoid. We are intimately present without clinging.
We have to really have a level of commitment to this. It is a lifestyle, it's a way of life, and spiritual practice isn't just about sitting on the yoga mat and then being like, okay, I'm going to be equanimous with my feelings for now. It's every single minute of every single day. You know, when we feel discomfort and the pain of this reality, it feels very real. And then the thoughts are sticky and the pain is sticky, and it pulls us into identification with it. So when we are in these moments of feeling elated and these moments of feeling depressed and uncomfortable, that is the prime time to remember. You can put little sticky notes everywhere and put little reminders on your phone or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's remembering, it's training yourself to wake up time and time again. So yes, it's a practice that really evolves over time. It is a choice that we make. We use our free will to really walk in the direction of equanimity in any moment. We can't just watch videos about it and read books about it and go to like one Vipassana retreat and practice equanimity for 10 days. It is a commitment and a devotion. And it's important that we really just we train ourselves to catch ourselves in the moment time and time again so that we can apply the practice.
The sage is still not because he takes stillness to be good and therefore is still. The 10,000 things are insufficient to distract his mind. That is the reason he is still. Zhuangzi. So with this quote, we see that the world of physicality no longer distracts the enlightened being, and that is why they are like they are, not because they have a preference. At this point, they have transcended notions of both good and bad.
So all we can do is our best, but be aware of trying too hard. And remember not to take yourself or your practice too seriously. Have fun along the way. But of course, sometimes you might have to take it seriously to balance it out. So thank you so much for watching this video. My name's Jasmine. If you like this kind of content, then please like and subscribe. It's a cute bird. And yes, please comment below if you have any thoughts or opinions and you want to share your own experiences with equanimity. That would be great to hear. So yeah, I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye 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 bye.